I think I speak for every Nintendo fan when I say that I absolutely love it when Nintendo gives a long dormant franchise a brand new game, a brand new opportunity to appeal to the modern gaming audience. But I've got to be honest, Emio, the Smiling Man, the new Famicom Detective Club game, it's kind of disappointing to me. And there's a few reasons for this. First of all, visual novels, that type of game, doesn't really appeal to me. It's, I don't know. I mean, maybe I just haven't found one that I've enjoyed. Granted, I haven't played all that many of them, but of the couple I have tried out, it's not been for me. You know, I am really happy for people who are a fan of that genre, but me personally, it's not for me. And obviously, by extension, that means I'm also not particularly interested in the Famicom Detective Club series. I want to be. I haven't tried out the remakes yet, so maybe I should do that before passing any sort of judgment on Emio. But yeah, this isn't a franchise that I am particularly interested in. And again, I want to make it very, very clear, I am really, really happy for the people who are into this franchise, into this series of games, because the last original entry was like 30 years ago? That's insane. And I'm really, really happy that those people get to have a new game. That's great. I, however, on a personal note, just not super hyped about this, and I'll explain why. So, the way Nintendo revealed this game was actually genius. Okay? It was a stroke of pure genius. They did a little tease on their socials, and it was just this creepy, eerie, like horror film-esque, like 15-minute 15-second teaser, not a 15-minute trailer, Jesus. And it depicted this creepy man with a smiling paper bag on his head. Now, that was it. There was no like gameplay details or story details or any hint that it was a tie-in to an existing franchise. So my mind immediately looked at this and went, okay, so this is a new game, a new IP. This looks to be horror. This looks like a horror game. Nintendo has never done a horror game before. You know, they had Eternal Darkness on the GameCube, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain they didn't develop that. And same with Geist. I don't think that's a particularly like horror game, if that makes sense. But it's like horror themed, as far as I'm aware, at least. So yeah, other than those two games, horror is not a genre that Nintendo has really experimented with. And I absolutely love it when Nintendo does something new and weird and completely out of left field. And I think a horror game in the final year of the Switch's life, like a brand new IP, and it's a horror game made by Nintendo, like in-house, I think that encapsulates that idea perfectly. So I had all these ideas in my head about what kind of horror game this would be, you know, because Emio, the entity we were being shown, it like, he is creepy. I really like the design of that character, and it made me wonder, what kind of horror gameplay would this game utilize? And the idea of Nintendo tackling any sort of established horror gameplay was really, really exciting to me. I really wanted to know how they were going to handle this, and I was really excited to find out more and to get my hands on the game eventually. And then, you know, they dropped the full reveal, I guess. They did a little developer interview, and yeah, it was revealed to be the third Famicom Detective Club game. And, you know, that it doesn't at all align with the expectations that I had. And, you know, it's not their job to align the game they're making with my expectations. But I feel like it almost feels intentional, right? Because this trailer very much looked like it was supposed to be for a horror game, something new and like uncharted territory for Nintendo. And I think that, like, and the very intentionally vague nature of that teaser, I think that's what got people talking about MEO, you know? Before this reveal dropped, that was all the buzz in the Nintendo community. I very nearly did a discussion just like this on that. Like, the fact that the entire Nintendo community was alight and just discussing what this game could be. I didn't end up doing it, because there's a lot of reasons. But, yeah, everyone was talking about MEO. And so that got a lot of eyes on Famicom Detective Club for the first time in maybe ever. I don't know how well the remakes did. I don't personally know anyone who got them. But yeah, it had a lot of people talking about MEO. And then MEO was revealed to be a Famicom Detective Club game. So therefore there was a lot of eyes on that franchise. And I think that's a really smart move. It just personally built up my hopes a little bit too high. And then the reality of what that was, what that project is, it made me a little bit sad. I'm not gonna lie. Because, like I say, not really my thing. And also, I would be so intrigued to see what Nintendo could do in a horror game. And I still really want them to explore that idea. You know, like, what kind of game would it be? I haven't played that many horror games, so it's difficult for me to give examples, like specific examples, but like, would it be an open world horror game? Would it be like a linear sort of fixed camera? Like, would they go the original Resident Evil style? Would they go more like modern open world horror game? What would they do? And it's Nintendo, so they'd obviously have some sort of fun twist in there, either with the gameplay or just the way that the game was laid out. Can you tell that this was an idea that I really liked? I really, really was getting my hopes up for a full-on Nintendo horror game. And I didn't get that. And, you know, I feel like I'm probably in the minority here. I feel like a lot of people are probably pretty happy that this ended up being a new entry in a series that's been dormant for 30 years. 3 decades of dormancy, and they're getting a new game. That must be so exciting for fans of that series. So I recognize that I am probably the odd one out here. But I was just kind of hoping for more. And that's the whole point of this video. That is all I'm here to say. I wish that MEO ended up being something else. And I was sad to find out what it actually was. Is this a completely petty and self-centered point? Yes, abso-fucking-lutely it is. I'm not gonna shy away from that. And again, if you are a Famicom Detective Club fan, I'm incredibly happy for you. But I want a Nintendo horror game, man. Luigi's Mansion, Metroid Prime, they give me the itch. You know, they scratch the surface of what a Nintendo horror game could be. And I really thought we were gonna get a full look at what Nintendo could do in that genre. But, you know, maybe I'll end up getting Emio, the Smiling Man. Maybe I'll end up playing the original 2 Famicom Detective Club games. But, maybe not. Maybe my disappointment will stop me from experiencing those games entirely. Make a horror game, Nintendo, please!